I like this question. This is from Janine. A little different flavor question here. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right, Janine. Janene, Janine. What are your thoughts on the BCHL leaving Hockey Canada in terms of the 16, 17, 18-year-olds trying to land on a BCHL Junior A team and move on to the NCAA? What would the impact be on those teams and that league? Will the skill level drop or rise? Will the BCHL still be a significant player in feeding the NCAA? I have a lot of thoughts on this because this has been top of mind for me. So you want me to go first so you can gather your thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I think, first of all, I don't know a lot about why they left or what. I know they've been trying to be their own league for a while. I know it's been happening for like several years, and now I guess they finally did it. Um, to the question of what will the impact be to those teams in that league, I have no idea. I don't know, because if they can run it really well and they can still keep the talent pool high, then it'll still be a really good league that feeds NCAA. Will the skill level drop or rise? If it does drop, it'll take some time as the league loses credibility, if it does lose credibility. But if it doesn't, then it'll be the same. People are still going to want to jump over there and play. So it really is just remains to be seen. Will the BCHL still be a significant player feeding NCAA? It will be, as long as they can keep the talent pool up, which I don't know if they will be able to or not. The reason I like this question, though, is I think whether or not the BCHL left Hockey Canada, this is just in my opinion, I think there are so many other leagues now that are becoming accessible to NCAA schools and scouts, and there are so many different ways for them to find players now that didn't exist even 10 years ago. You know, like there's Hockey TV now. That wasn't the thing when I played junior. That wasn't the thing. Hockey TV, they stream every game of every league ever, basically. So all these schools have access to all the leagues, all the players. They just need to come across them, right? So now we're seeing like Brooks Bandits is a good example where they're in the Alberta League, and obviously Cale Makar might have been the one that kind of put them on the map as a top organization, but they were already a very good organization in that league, and now they're really have a really good reputation in the Alberta League. In Manitoba, that Steinbach team, they were in the finals this year for the all junior A teams, whatever. They've been pumping out guys getting committed in Manitoba. It's a Manitoba league, right? Obviously, the Ontario League, they commit guys all the time. So I just think it was going the way of things being spread out more anyways. And the fact that BC is no longer part of Hockey Canada, I think that will discourage some players from going there. But I really don't know what the result of that's going to be. But in terms of kids moving on to NCAA at 16, 17, 18, I just think the opportunities across many different leagues are growing a lot because there's access, which there wasn't before. So that was the point I wanted to make in addressing this question, is I don't really think it matters all that much whether they're in Hockey Canada or not, because I don't know what the result of that's going to be. But I feel like even with just our guys here, like we have kids getting scholarships. Like we have two of our guys that are going to get scholarships out of that Steinbach team from Manitoba, right? We have guys that went to the Null. We have guys that from the OJ. We have guys from all different leagues that maybe 10 years ago it wasn't as common. So I think it's kind of just heading that way anyways. So that's probably the most impactful thing, not necessarily that they're not a part of Hockey Canada anymore. In my opinion, that's how I see it now. But again, I don't know a whole lot about what is going to happen or what the results of that are going to be for those players.
Yeah, I think I'm just guessing. I don't know. I'm not really good at probably talking about this too much because I know the BCHL is a very good league. I know that they had probably restrictions on bringing kids over because Hockey Canada had age limits on when you could leave. So it looks to me like they just wanted to be a business like, leave your stupid rules alone and we're going to run our own thing, which is fine. And I think they could, I think they still probably run a really good program. Like, why not? And then the schools are still just looking for the best hockey players. So if they play for the, whatever you want to call the league, if you got good players, they want them. So I don't think it's going to hurt anything there. I really don't know. Like, what they probably just want to get away from the governing body of Hockey Canada, but it's not going to stop them from getting kids in the.
Well, yeah, I mean, two of our top guys are going to Penticton next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so it's like, and to your point, the schools are trying to find the best players, man. They don't care. You could be playing in a senior league somewhere. If you're the best player that can play at their level, they're gonna want to give you a chance. That's the bottom line. So it doesn't matter whether you're sanctioned or not. They don't care. They don't have a dog in the fight of Hockey Canada. Like they just want guys that are good, you know. So as long as BC can keep up the quality, which I don't see any reason why they wouldn't necessarily, then like on paper, if they're not part of Hockey Canada, maybe that limits them in some way, or that limits their options in some way.
Well,
Interacting with other leagues.
where it would hurt, I think where it would hurt let's say a kid from Ontario or Manitoba or Quebec that went out there, that's a Hockey Canada player. They went out there. I think would you go to an outlaw league, which it would be called now. It's not under hockey. You can't come back to the Hockey Canada for at least 2 years or something like that. So if you're 16 and you want to make that move and you don't like it, or things go south on you, then now what? So that might be the deciding factor for some kids of going out there or not. But I don't know.
Yeah. And